Gaze reading where the greats drop by. Trendy authors tell us all the who, what, and why. Anyone can listen, cause we're spoiler free. Gaze reading, from Pulitzer stars to book club picks, where the curious minds can get their fix. So you say you're not gay, well that's okay. There's something for everyone. Gaze reading.
Hello and welcome to Gaze Reading. I'm your host, Jason Blitman, and on today's special episode, I am talking to the author Erin O, who of course wrote the December Gaze Reading Book Club pick, Like Family. The Gaze Reading Book Club is through Allstora. If you are unfamiliar, you could check out the link in the bio on Instagram or in the show notes. What do you get when you join the Gaze Reading Book Club? You have a curated book that's delivered monthly to your door. I call these books accessibly literary. You get 30% off Allstora's website. You get access to the Kiki to talk about the books, which is the online community. There will be exclusive author Q&As, and Allstora donates a children's book to LGBTQIA plus youth organizations for every book club sign up that comes in. And the club exclusively supports LGBTQIA plus authors. So all really exciting reasons to join the club. Again, the link to join, you could find that in the show notes and also in the link tree on Instagram at Gaze Reading. Very simple. You could find us at gazereading.com. We are on Substack. We are all over the place generally. This conversation is spoiler free. We want you to read the book. Go check it out. Join the club. And yeah, that's everything. Erin's bio is in the show notes. And now just please enjoy my conversation with Erin O.
It's very exciting.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Very clear.
You made me laugh and I slapped instead of my knee, my desk. And I think that did something to the sound.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got way
Glad
too
you're
aggressive
back.
over here. I know. Erin O. Welcome to Gaze Reading.
Thank you. This is such an honor.
Are you kidding? I'm so excited, not only to talk to you today, but because your book, Like Family,
Here it
is the December Gaze Reading Book Club pick.
So exciting. I'm so honored. Thank you so much for choosing me.
Of course. And of course, I chose you prior to knowing that Barnes & Noble chose you too, which is tough competition for me. But
You're on
that's
the you're wait. I mean,
the Midwestern ladies love you, and so do the gays.
I love that. My Venn diagram is just where I want it to be.
What does the O stand for?
O'Neill.
Oh,
It's my mother's maiden name. It's my middle name. And Erin White is a very common name. It's just hard. I just disappear into a sea of Erin White. So when I write, I use my middle initial.
love it.
Yeah.
Love it, Erin O. Of course.
Thank you.
No, it feels very
Jason.
special.
Does it good? I'm glad.
It does.
I'm glad.
That's Jason Scott Blitman, if anyone's
I was just going to
wondering.
say. Also very special. Yes, it's for special.
Right. You understand.
I do.
What do I need to talk to you about? What is your elevator pitch for Like Family?
Okay. I have 2 elevator pitches depending on how long the elevator ride is. So
Great.
if we're just
So,
going 2 floors
Yeah,
down,
let's just keep it simple because
Okay.
I want everyone to buy the book. I hate reading too much about a book, but what do people need to know?
Basically, what you need to know is that Like Family is a love letter to queer families and small town life. That's what I like to say.
Fab.
Kind of like Schitt's Creek, but no one lives in a hotel, and instead of David, it's a lot of lesbians.
Yes. All of that is true.
It's also a coming of middle-age novel, I like to say. Here are all of these people, these characters who have worked so hard to get what they want, their marriage, their children, their friends, their families, but suddenly they just realize they want a whole bunch of other things. But then these new things are turning out to be a lot harder to get and messing with their lives in various ways.
Yeah. I have my little list of things I want to talk to you about, but it's so much more than Chosen Family. I think I don't think I realized how simple the term Chosen Family was until I read this book.
Wow. I love that. Thank you.
There's something so much more, I think, intentional about it than, oh no, I just love them and they're my chosen family. No, it's there's a very deep, I am choosing capital C sort of these humans to surround myself with.
Isn't it true that we, especially in the queer community, we use that term so much, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I actually feel like we use it, but people outside the community also use it in various ways. And I think it gets a little flat.
Right.
So then it starts to feel like, what is that? And I really wanted to, part of what I wanted to do in the book was to excavate a whole lot of language, particularly around queer life. But one of the things that I wanted to say about chosen family or found family is sometimes a term that people use.
Right.
Is that it's really not just about people that you enjoy being around or people who have a fun Thanksgiving. It's really not about like people who you can take a vacation with, or it's really about people with whom you have created a sense of mutual obligation and really are there to live life alongside those people, even when it feels inconvenient or painful or when you'd rather be doing something else, right? Because that is so much of what family is about.
Yeah. Thank you for unpacking that, because it really articulated what I meant by so much more than chosen family. Armistead Maupin uses the term logical family.
Oh, I love that.
Which
Actually, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, which is really nice. But there's something about just like the intentionality of it, right? It isn't about convenience. It's about intention.
Yeah, and oftentimes it is so inconvenient. Which
Uh-huh.
I think it's true a lot for in some ways that's true for my characters.
Yeah.
It would be more convenient sometimes if they could make different choices, but they have entered into these bonds with these people. And so they have to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah. I say all the time that there's a huge difference between relatives and family.
Yeah.
And I think there's this very interesting point that you made about the obligation, because I think people believe they're obligated to their relatives, but in fact we're obligated to our family, and you are not necessarily blood related to your family, even though we're being told otherwise.
Totally.
Yeah.
I totally think that's true. Yeah. And then the characters in my book have at different times feel uncomfortable by the obligations, that the promises that they've made in the past, things that they've done out of joyful or willful obligation that are now changing dynamics in their families. But they always have to figure out a way to stick it out, which is so much of life.
Yeah. And my like overarching metaphor for what the book is about that I don't want to talk more about, and you'll understand why momentarily, but it is a book about how people are bound together.
Yes.
And
that's absolutely what it is.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that is what a great way to think about the entirety of the book.
I love that so much.
Anyway, I was like getting misty as I was going through my notes from revisit, because I finished it so long ago.
Oh, thank you. I love making people.
I didn't cry, I got misty. Let's be
by the end of the book.
I know. Yes, that someone on my call earlier today, he did cry. And so I was like, I can't have too many tears in my episodes today.
Okay, no more tears.
No.
Okay.
But whatever, it's fine. We can manage.
We'll keep it light.
Yeah, light and fun. There are so many like unique friend and partner relationships throughout the book. What sort of was an inspiration for you? Because I think it's not necessarily autofiction, but I'm sure there is. It's such a unique book. We don't, as a queer community, this is not a typical book that we see all the time. It's just a very normal, lots of queer people living amongst each other. And it's the straight characters that are the outliers in the book. So yeah, where did it all come from?
Okay, where did it come from? I think it came from a couple different, obviously, just in terms of like literary inspiration. Mm-hmm. The book really comes from my lifelong love affair, essentially, with domestic fiction. Women's domestic fiction. So like even from the time I was very young, I was reading stories about families. I was reading like Madeline L'Engle's Meet the Austins and all of those stories. I've been so interested in that. And then as I got older, it was like Sue Miller and Mary Gordon and Meg Wolitzer and Laurie Colwin. And those were always the books that I loved more than anything. And so then as I grew up and came out, it's a funny thing. You understand yourself as a queer person, but then you have all these other loves, aesthetic loves, right? And so there I was. I really had a love for these domestic novels. And it took me a long time to figure out how to do it. But I really had this sort of secret desire to write like the great American lesbian novel. It was just about American families, but they're all queer.
Yeah.
And so that was
so
really
special.
Where that came
That's
from.
So special.
Yeah, thank you. It's really special to me because it's just because I really got to do that thing, which is such a luxury, which is write the book you want to read.
Yeah.
And so that was really just, it was a joy in that way. And then more specific inspiration, my wife and I did raise our children in rural Massachusetts, Western Massachusetts, in a town. The particularities of rural life, especially with young children, there's a way that your life becomes very intimately intertwined with people around you that's a little bit specific. It's just its own distinct thing.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time at other people's houses. Your children move in the same circles. You run into people all the time. You have to mend your fences, so to speak, in a way that it's like an interesting way to live. And then it's an interesting way to raise your children. And so I started this in the pandemic after we moved to Minneapolis. And in some ways, it was a way for me to revisit my children's childhood, my early years of being married. No, not my early middle age, I should say. And so that's another inspiration for it.
Yeah. That's really special. And I imagine people talk all the time about how writing books can be cathartic for themselves. But I wonder, was it, again, cathartic is not the right word, because I'm thinking more about, okay, so I lived in New York City for many years. And if I were to, and the idea of writing about New York now feels meaningful and nostalgic, and I don't know, like cathartic isn't the right way to put it, but you were revisiting a time in your life through the lens of fiction. What was that experience like?
It was very joyful. It was a very particular experience of nostalgia because, of course, nostalgia oftentimes suggests the idea, if you're feeling nostalgic about something, you're not always articulating the specifics of what the nostalgia comes from. But in the writing of this book, I actually had to get very granular into the things, the tiny little things that maybe I was nostalgic for.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun because I really did create, these people are very fictional, but more the details of their sort of physical environment or their existence or the archery classes or that jumping on a trampoline or eating oysters on Thanksgiving morning. Like, it's more those details that are from my past. And so when you say you feel nostalgic or you miss something, it's sometimes just like a cloud of a feeling that you carry with you. But when I was writing the book, I got to actually create a little dollhouse of my old life. And then I was actually manifesting objects and places, and it was a lot of fun.
That's really special.
Yeah, it was.
Circling back to you talking about having this book inside of you, you secretly wanted to write a book. The book addresses, I think, the idea of learning more about yourself as you get older. There are two things I want to talk about. One, the first sentence of your bio is that you are a debut novelist at 52, which, congratulations, incredible.
Thank you.
I want to talk about that, but I'm also really curious, what have you learned about yourself as you've gotten older through the process of writing this book? I'm sure the list is endless.
Yeah, we do learn a lot as we get older, even though we can't play as much pickleball for kids. I think, interestingly, like I wrote this novel, so I started it in my late 40s. And the characters in the book, except for one of the couples, are really people who are just entering middle age and they're in their early 40s. And I think what was lovely about writing the book now is that I think it's a beautiful time of life. I think it's such a wild and chaotic time. And I think what's really interesting about sort of being perched at the beginning of middle age is you're still really looking around at people around you, really closely examining their lives and their choices and wondering if you could have done, you're still wondering, like, how did the choices that I made get me to this spot? And is there something I can still do can I have what she has, essentially? And I think that it's a time of both real beauty and connection, and it's a time of real friction because you're still just wanting and want. And then over the course of your 40s, I feel like life really just comes for everybody, right? It just comes at you fast. And a lot of that sort of jealousy or longing or striving starts to fall away a little bit, and you figure out what your life is, right? The life that you're living. And what was great about writing about my characters is that at that age, is that I feel like I could see their beauties and their ambitions and all of what was good and exciting for them. And I could also see that they were racked with they were torturing themselves a little bit. But because I wasn't writing it myself in my 40s, I was able to give them a little more grace. I was able to give them a little more humor. I wasn't so much, she was so jealous, and then she was more jealous, and then the jealousy was overwhelming. I had moved past that in my own life.
Yeah.
And so I feel like what I had learned, I was able to give to my characters
Mm-hmm.
as they struggled.
You said you started writing in your late 40s. You're in your early 50s. In this moment, what advice would you give your characters who are in their early 40s right now?
I would tell them to just, I could give them so much advice because I love giving people advice.
So to be fully transparent, I am 37, and what advice would you give to me as I embark into my 40s? I don't need any artifice about it. Give me advice, Erin.
I love it. Okay, let's just lay it out. A 30-day plan.
I literally had couples therapy right before this.
I love a good couples therapist. Yes. Oh, the advice that I would give is to not worry. To not worry.
You say that to a lifelong worrier.
So you're not really going to be able to take that in, are you?
I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best because that's what we do.
Try.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that I don't think I expected at the age that you're at right now is how much more I would continue to enjoy being here. Like just that really as time has gone on, living this life and being on this planet with these people that I love.
Yeah.
In this world, it's just it's just a pleasure. And there's all of the struggle and there's the grief and there's the mounting losses and all the things. But I do really feel like I feel myself so much less concerned with what has happened to other people and what I maybe could have gotten for myself. Again, because I just think like what I was saying before is like everyone's life is really hard. And I don't think I understood that really fully at 40.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Fran Lebowitz?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know her personally, but
no, neither do I.
The way that
I
she
want to.
I know we will.
Yeah.
Let's manifest.
Right, we will.
Yeah, let's work on that. Yes. Yeah, we will. She said that the way that she had cured herself of jealousy, she'd been a terribly jealous person her whole life, and when she was in early middle age, she cured herself of jealousy by saying, "Fran," and I can't do her accent. You can be jealous of as many people as you want to, but you have to be jealous of their entire life, everything about them, and then it faded away. And so I took Fran's advice to heart. Isn't that so wise?
Yeah.
So even
Listen,
now,
she doesn't
when
have
I
a
feel
computer
myself,
at home. She has a lot of time to think. So
I know. And she's smoking.
Right.
Thinking, wearing the same suit every day. She has freed her mind.
Right.
She's freed
so
her
I'm going
mind.
to take everything that she says as gospel.
It's very wise, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Next time you feel jealous of someone. And my characters, of course, do not take that advice to heart at all. No.
No, it's a really interesting point because if we cherry pick what we're jealous of, then we're just jealous of all sorts of things. And so if we then...
Exactly. And then we're living with this fallacy that you can cherry pick a life.
And what you were just saying earlier about how in your early 40s, you didn't realize how much was to come.
Yeah.
So we can look around and say, how do we get that? How do we do that? There's still time to build that life. But yeah, we still can't cherry pick it per se.
We can, but we can get so much good for ourselves.
Yeah. Love has come up a lot in the last few sentences. It comes up in the book that love is a verb. Can you share a bit about that?
Sure. I think it really dovetails with the idea of what it means if we're really excavating this idea of chosen found family and the idea of obligation. And then love being a verb is really about the idea that you can feel whatever you feel for another person, but because we're human beings, because we're mammals, because we have physical needs and we have social needs, we have to be able to meet some of those for the people who we're close to. Yeah. And you have to, if you're entering into a loving relationship with a partner, with a friend, with a child, so much of what you're going to have to do to maintain that relationship is action. It's funny, that whole love language thing, words of affirmation, whatever all of them are. Physical.
Things of service.
Things of service.
Right.
And what is funny is I think that acts of service in some ways is its own thing. It's so essential to really any relationship that's built on mutual love, because you do really have to act for the people who are important to you. Because we really do need so much. And maybe that's something so small. Like you have to pick somebody's kid up from soccer practice. even though maybe you'd rather not. But you do have to do things. It's part of being in like an ecosystem of friendship or family.
Yeah. My husband and I will often talk about how we are on the same team. That is great and important. But there have been moments recently where it's, oh, I need to catch the ball. I need to kick the ball. I need to pass the ball. There's all the sports metaphors that we could think of.
Totally.
But
yeah.
right, it's being on a team is active.
That's right. And being on a team isn't just like agreeing with somebody.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about having a shared goal.
Nor is it just sitting on the bench.
No. Although in my childhood, it definitely was.
Oh, 100%.
Yes,
no, I was in the outfield, twirling around,
yeah, me too.
picking up the grass.
Totally. And that was an important role that we played.
Yes. We filled the field.
We filled the with deep thought.
Yes. Basically, just call me Fran. Yeah. Fran in the outfield.
Fran in the outfield. That's amazing, actually. Fran in the outfield. Yeah.
Could you imagine Fran in her suits?
On a celebrity softball team? That'd be incredible. Like a lesbian celebrity softball team.
How do we manifest this?
I don't know. That seems kind of amazing.
I know.
Right? We've got maybe like Abby Wambach is like the pitcher, captain, whatever those words
that
are.
Seems
the
unfair.
Person who's in charge.
Yeah. Yeah, she does seem in charge.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God.
Yeah,
and then the manager is Wanda Sykes.
Oh, this is amazing. Yes.
Right?
Exactly. Yes. She could really manage the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. That was the question.
Cheerleader?
Yeah, maybe. Profiles of players. In sports magazine.
You could bring the orange slices. I don't know. For all I know, you're super athletic. I don't know.
I'm not. Think Brandy Carlisle could be involved? That would be great.
Sure. Yeah, Jane Lynch. What's she gonna? She's like the first baseman or something.
I mean, my wife would also be she's an incredible athlete. So she could maybe be third base. Is that a good thing?
I have no idea.
Yeah, great.
Look at us.
We'll just provide the excitement.
Casting our celebrity league of their own.
Wasn't it sad that got canceled?
I didn't watch it. But
okay, you're part of the problem.
I'm the problem. Listen, we really don't watch a lot of TV, which is, I know, it's weird.
No, I love that for you. That's great.
Again, call me Fran. She doesn't watch TV either. I read a lot of books.
The similarities are just mounting.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Things I never knew I needed to hear. Oh my God, we're the same. I'm probably just as much of a curmudgeon, too.
At this point, a lot of us are.
I know.
She could just really get away with it.
Okay, please define mother music for me.
Oh my God. Okay. As a genre, I see mother music as mother music is actually a different thing for different people. But I would say that if we're going to, I'll broadly define it first, and then I'll narrowly define it for myself.
Great.
Which is broadly defined, mother music is the music that when you got into the car, when your mother was driving, she would be playing. Or alternatively, you come home from school, and in my time, it would be the records were on. I don't know when that was for you, the CD players, whatever your mother has put on. In my mother's case, and then I put this in my book, it's Barbra Streisand. It's Joni Mitchell, Judy Collins. It is sometimes Simon and Garfunkel. And these are the songs that when you hear them, you immediately just feel a flood of emotion for your childhood and for your mother. And oftentimes, as a bonus, you now listen to the songs and you think a little bit more about your mother as a woman who had perhaps some longings, some feelings, right?
This is very interesting because I didn't really think about it until this moment. My mother music is mostly...
Great. What is it?
It's Kenny Loggins, it's Bon Jovi.
I love that.
But I'm almost bummed that it wasn't Barbra Streisand or Joni Mitchell. There was no ethereal fabulousness happening in our home. It was all 70s yacht rock.
That could be a generational thing because I'm older than you.
Oh, sure, that's fair.
So my mom's older than you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I thought when I was young, I thought we were related to Barbra Streisand. That's how much Barbra Streisand was in my house. I assumed she was a family member.
Yeah. I wish I knew her that early.
But when you hear a Kenny Loggins song, do you think about your mom?
Oh, 100%.
And it's great. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's interesting.
I was trying to also allude to the idea of like mothers as people who have inner lives, and that sometimes we can never really access our mothers in our lives, even as we get older. But when we have those moments of dipping in, it can be really lovely.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that has changed from your mother to you as a mother?
I don't actually. I mean, yes and no. Perhaps generationally it has, that mothers are maybe more forthcoming or disclosing to their daughters. I have a very close relationship with my own mother who's quite disclosing. But I still feel, and I'm very close to my own almost grown daughters, I still feel like a mother is an enigma in so many ways. So it's just, there are just a lot of things you just can't know about them.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Totally good. It's fun for me to think about what my mom was like as a 20-something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I sometimes wish for her that she can re-tap into that.
Yeah, totally.
You know.
Yeah. I do actually feel like when I do see my mother, who likes to think a lot about her sort of 20s and 30s, it's lovely to watch and to hear her talk about it. Because it is such an interesting time of life. And so to hear about the things that she was thinking about or interested in.
Yeah, that's really fun. Anyway, mother music stuck out to me.
Mothers.
I want you to make a playlist if you haven't already.
Okay, I will. I should. I have a lot of Barbra Streisand. I listened to a lot of Barbra Streisand while I was writing this book.
Yeah? Was there like a song that was on repeat the most?
Oh gosh. Evergreen. I just love it. Just The Way We Were. I'll just go all in. I just love.
So I knew who she was when I was in high school or in college. We were offered free tickets to her concert. There was like a limited number. And I was like, I know who Barbra Streisand is, but I'm not like a quote unquote fan at that point in my life. I left that arena that night as a changed human.
I believe it.
Did you listen to her memoir? Listen. Of course I said listen.
Yes, I did.
Right.
Of course I did.
Because you have to listen to it.
All 975,000 hours.
Yes.
Yes.
I did get up to 3x speed, but it still sounded normal.
It still sounded great. I also was up very high. Wasn't it great when she would give it a little aside where she would just deviate from the text and then just tell us the story?
Yes. I would listen to it again.
I know.
But who has the time?
No, we are too old for that now.
I know. No,
we don't have that kind of time.
Too much.
Yeah, too much.
Anyway, loved it. Obsessed. I didn't realize how her sort of diva-ness was earned.
Yeah. She was a worker, wasn't she? Yes.
May we all be as strong.
I know. Also, the idea that she had tinnitus, or however you say that, a ringing in her ears all the time.
I know. Stage fright.
She deserves that. She deserves that mansion in Malibu or whatever she has. Multiple mansions.
I know. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Okay. I said that this is your debut novel at 52. Girl, how does that feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. I think that a lot of people will read that and think that, like, I'm like Grandma Moses, like I picked up a paintbrush and started writing. So, like at 49, I was just like, you know what I should do? I should write a novel. I'll just sit down and pen a volume. But, it's not that way at all.
No.
I got my MFA in my late 20s. Right. I worked just a freelancer and an editor and a ghostwriter. I called 18. Yeah. I've been working. I don't want you to think I have.
No, I don't think that way. You weren't like... I don't know, a baker, and then suddenly
that's true. I would need to be able to say, after a 25-year career in the foreign service.
No, not that.
I couldn't say that. No. Yeah, not that.
No, you've been.
It was more just like plugging away. Yeah. It happened right at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
I think that the book that I wrote, which I wanted so much to write, as we talked about earlier, a handful of years, if we're being realistic, about the sorts of books that have been published or accepted or received well into the literary community.
Yeah. I'm certainly grateful that it happened when it did.
Me too.
If you were only given 3 words to explain like family, what would they be? And it doesn't have to be a sentence. What are just 3 words that come to mind?
3 words. Oh gosh, that seems okay. Oh my God, what if I'm just like warm, joyful, and smart, which is on the floor, which I'm not gonna say. 3 words. But you know what I guess I might say is ties that bind, even though those words do go together.
No, you're allowed to do it. Could be whatever. I just didn't want you to feel the pressure to form a 3-word sentence.
I feel like that's what I would say in those 3 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ties that
Yeah.
bind. Love.
Yeah.
That was like very teamwork of us. I'm very pleased.
It really was. That was really good. I'm going to use that later.
Please do. I'm obsessed.
Yes. I'll be like, so if you were to ask me about 3 words.
Here's a very succinct, brilliant, very metaphoric.
Brilliant. Just off the cuff.
Yes, totally off the cuff. Erin O. White. I needed to add the in there just for
I love
because
that.
I don't know why, but I needed to.
That's amazing.
Everyone go to Allstora. You could go to the link in the bio, join the club. This is so special. I'm so excited. Are there parting words that you want to give to the people?
Oh my gosh. I'm just so excited too. I'm thrilled to put this book in people's hands, thrilled to put it into the hands of your book club members who I just hope read a story and see themselves reflected back with tons of love.
And if not themselves, seeing messy families in ways that are so familiar and yet so different. And I think that's also just really special and really cool.
Absolutely.
So, Erin, congratulations. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Have a great rest of your day.